In my role, I work with teachers, I guess I would say some in a group setting, and then some in an individual setting. And what that looks like is a teacher or any staff in a building that felt like they wanted to have a one-on-one conversation about things like self-care. Maybe questions about how to have a whole child approach to classroom management. Maybe you just need to hash out some ideas you have in a classroom and make sure that you are not going to potentially re-traumatize anybody in that space. So that teacher or that staff member could sign up for a 30-minute session, and we could do it through Zoom or whatever virtually, and we just kind of talk. And I meet you where you are, and that's the whole point of it. I also offer that in a group setting where we have 8 to 10 teachers that come together, and sometimes that looks like me facilitating a conversation where teachers are going to learn and grow from each other, and sometimes that means I'm giving ideas. I also serve teachers by hosting book studies, by doing training school-wide, sometimes across multiple schools. And I would also encourage any teacher who is hearing the words I say, and maybe you think, I really don't know what mindfulness is. My self-care practice is in the gutter, or I don't even have one. Don't think that that's something not important to contact me about, because honestly, I'm here for you. I truly believe that we are student-centered, but we can't be student-centered unless we're teacher-focused. And I want to make sure that you're well. So if you're thinking hey, I would love to have a one-on-one about some ways I could implement self-care into my world, into my life, I would like to learn more about these ways of implementing work-life balance, whatever that looks like, please pick up the phone, shoot me an email. I will come to your school. I'll find out whenever your planning period is, and we'll sit down and we'll chop it up. And I just want to meet you where you are and make sure that you're doing the best you can to serve these kiddos. Also in my role, I work with students directly. In this light, I typically work with students in a group setting, because just working with so many schools, I don't necessarily have the time I would like to work individually with students. But one thing I offer specifically is a mindfulness group. Typically that is done in a voluntary fashion, and it is a small group with maybe 10 to 15 students at the most, where we meet consistently or maybe twice a month, and we just breathe. And we learn skills of how to regulate ourselves and how to do things to give them permission to feel all the spectrum of feelings. A lot of the kids we work with, and y'all know this, they feel like they can either be pissed off or shut down. They can be sad or mad. And I want to help them experience all those things in between. And what I have found, which is amazing, and it brings a smile to my face to even say it, is that all kids, once they experience what it's like to have that peace, it's a little bit easier for them to catch themselves when they're getting outside of it. And then it's like magic happens, and they can start to self-regulate. And they will do things that's maybe mind-blowing to you, and they'll say, hey, can I get up and just go take a walk? I need a minute. I'm feeling dysregulated. I need to go and take a few deep breaths. And it's amazing. They're starting to grow into these emotionally intelligent human beings through these practices. So that's one way, and I love working with groups of kids. One misconception of my work is that I carry a magic wand. I wish I had one. I would get paid a whole lot more, but I don't. So sometimes when I'm in a school, I will have an adult that runs up to me in a hallway and says, hey, I need you to meet insert child that is having a meltdown or whatever, some kind of elicitation of emotions. And they want me to go in, all of a sudden pop into a room and calm down this child and change their behavior. I've never met this kid. That's not how behavior change works. One, there's no correction without any kind of connection. And so I have to get to know a child to make any kind of influence on them as well as you do. So I don't carry that magic wand around. Another misconception is that trauma-informed work is soft. And what do I mean by that? Let's use discipline for an example. I have heard people say that taking a trauma-informed approach or a holistic approach to classroom management or discipline is letting kids off the hook with bad behavior. And I'm using quotes on purpose there. It's actually harder work to do what we do. To quote Brene Brown, when we blame, without taking the time to sit down and see what happened and who was harmed and how we can right a wrong, we're taking the easy way out. We're actually removing accountability from the process, because I'm saying I know everything that needs to be known about this situation and I don't need to hear your side of the story. When we take a trauma-informed approach to discipline, we look at discipline as teaching behavior versus punishing behavior. And what that looks like is I'm going to first start and make sure that you feel like you're in a position where you're safe, right? Once you feel like you're safe, then we're going to make sure that we are connected. We're co-regulated together. Me and you are in attunement. And then once I get that child to that place, which might not happen in an instant, then they are in a place where their whole brain is online and we can actually have a conversation about right and wrong. We can have a conversation about what to do next, about the resolution of whatever just happened, about teaching new skills. We can do all these things that we all want to do. We can introduce consequences when necessary. The point is that I want to teach you how to get to a point to where you do that and it's actually effective and we can stop repeat behaviors from happening in our classrooms. What I would encourage you to do is try to continually stay grounded. Make sure that you stay connected to the things that you do to allow you to breathe and to be your best self. Now, once you do that, start your year off with connection. We have to teach. Academics is why we're here. We want to make sure that we get through our lesson plans and we get the content covered. But I would encourage you and I would promise you that you're going to get further along with that. You're going to be more successful if you dedicate some significant time to just making sure that you are connected and have a good, healthy relationship with the students in your class and that they have a good, healthy relationship with each other. We're going to spend time on this stuff one way or another. I would encourage you to do it on the front end, and you're going to have a lot less time that you're having to deal with minor, petty behavior issues on the back end, and it's going to give you more time to actually teach what you want to teach.